Okay, so the title of my informational report is Space Tourism, a Scientific Breakthrough or an Environmental Apocalypse. Remember when you were a little kid and could not wait to go to the happiest place on Earth? You run with your family at record pace to reach the front of the enormous line forming for the most popular ride at Disneyland. Can you guess the ride? Well, what if you were told that billionaires are inventing a new way of allowing the public to have the full immersive experience that Space Mountain has to offer? Yes, billionaires are funding space tourism to educate people and increase public knowledge of the solar system through technological advancement. This will allow people to have a glimpse into an astronaut's job while enjoying the breathtaking view of Earth. But the public has environmental concerns similar to those posed in the airline industry prior to becoming commonplace. According to billionaires, space tourism may be used as a tool to advance scientific research and fund social causes, but the public's primary concern is that it may be to the detriment of the environment in the 21st century. Although the idea of traveling into space is a child's dream come true, space tourism requires a cost-benefit analysis and an ongoing assessment of environmental factors and safety protocols. Bernie Sanders spoke on the topic of space tourism in respect to the present-day challenges facing Americans today, and stated, quote, "Half of our people live paycheck to paycheck. People are struggling to feed themselves, struggling to see a doctor, but hey, the richest guys in the world are off in outer space." End quote. Senator Sanders believes that there is an economic injustice when Americans struggling financially to support their families, while billionaires have the privilege and time to contemplate on fanatical ideas to attain a higher net worth. Senator Sanders even reflects on the growing wealth inequality in America today, saying, quote, "Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos own more wealth than the bottom 40% of people in this country. That level of greed and inequality is not only immoral, it is unsustainable." End quote. Moreover, the current cost to go to space is around $250,000 per person and about $55 million to be in orbit for a few days. Not only does Sanders highlight the dramatic schism between social classes in America, but also reiterates that scientists must assess the long-term environmental effects that come with opening space tourism to the public. Eloy Marat, a professor of physical geography at University College London, discusses the environmental implications of establishing space travel as a mass-marketed commodity, remarking, quote, "For one long-haul plane flight, it's 1 to 3 tons of carbon dioxide per passenger. For one rocket launch, 200 to 300 tons of carbon dioxide are split between 4 or so passengers." End quote. However, she further explains that the individual rocket's carbon emissions are small in comparison with the aircraft industry. The sheer number of aircraft in flight causes pollution levels to be of public concern. Dr. Marat further emphasizes that even adding water into the upper atmosphere could lead to substantial environmental damage to the Earth. When on the topic of environmental damage from gases expelled from space, Jessica Dallas, a senior policy advisor at the New Zealand Space Agency, cautions the public that the stratospheric ozone layer is the main cause for concern, as the ozone layer weakens when toxic gases are released in the upper atmosphere. Nonetheless, Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson reassured the public that their primary goal is to devise a plan that is environmentally safe and affordable while advancing technology and science. Richard Branson's response to Senator Sanders calling space tourism a passion project for billionaires was very insightful, as he says on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, quote, "But I think that maybe they're not fully educated as to what space does for Earth," end quote. Mr. Branson is referring to the technological advancements that space research has provided the world through public funding, like cellular GPS, weather reports on smartphones, and even climate change education. Furthermore, billionaires like Jared Isaacman have donated large sums of money earned through space tourism and have matched those donations with their own personal funds to charitable organizations such as St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Overall, space research funded by the public has given people more efficiency in their lives and made medical procedures available to people in need of care. Now, to consider the affordability aspect of space tourism, NASA's human spaceflight chief, Kathy Lueders, who oversaw the transformation of Musk's SpaceX aircraft, Dragon, mentions that supply and demand remain a huge factor for the future of space tourism. She reiterates the significant detail in their press conference, clarifying, quote, "What we're hoping is that you would hopefully have so many customers that at one point the price point would go down to having it be accessible. It's tough at the beginning," end quote. Her comments regarding the controversial topic claim that there is a return on investment regarding accessibility and costs associated with spaceflight. Looking at previous inventions, the public were skeptical of Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and the Wright brothers when developing their brands. But over a century later, now the public heavily relies on Microsoft, Apple, and commercial airplanes. Could space tourism be the next addition to this list of famous inventions enjoyed by the masses? Well, according to government officials, the future of space tourism will rely heavily on ongoing safety monitoring. The Federal Aviation Administration, or the FAA, supervises the space commercial industry by verifying the launch sites maintain a safe distance from each other. After a helicopter was in the vicinity of a SpaceX flight launched this June, the FAA will now be tasked to not only address the collisions between other spacecrafts, but to organize the air traffic between spacecrafts, airplanes, and drones. Considering their role as a monitor, the FAA has officially approved to grant licenses to space companies for boarding public passengers, but have yet to award it certifiably safe. In conclusion, space tourism is a new endeavor that can be used as a tool for scientific advancements and socially responsible projects while ensuring the safety of the public and protection of the environment. Still, the public is hesitant towards the idea of expanding space tourism, as commercialized rockets could accelerate carbon emissions onto Earth. Like with any new venture, space tourism will be subjected to heavy scrutiny until subject matter experts document their findings and address the public's concern. Elon Musk's and Jeff Bezos's primary goals are to devise a plan that addresses scientific, economic, and social aspects of the space tourism program. The public's awareness of the space tourism programs and ongoing education with key stakeholders such as FAA will directly impact whether space tourism is viewed as a scientific breakthrough or an environmental catastrophe. And that's it.